Waiter insults Elon Musk at a luxury restaurant, but when he discovers the truth, you won't believe what happens. The rain gently tapped against the windows of Lottie Jardin, a discreet yet sophisticated restaurant nestled in the heart of San Francisco. With its cream-colored walls and dim lighting, the place offered a haven for those wanting a break from the city's never-ending hustle. It was 8:45 p.m., and the air carried the rich scent of freshly baked bread, mingling with subtle hints of melting butter and fragrant herbs. Elon Musk ran a weary hand over his face, trying to shake off the exhaustion that had been accumulating over the past week. The dark shadows beneath his eyes told a story of sleepless nights, one spent tackling crises at his companies. His phone, buzzing incessantly in his pocket, begged for his attention, but for the first time that day, he chose to ignore it. Just one night, he murmured to himself, pushing open the heavy wooden door. Just one night without being Elon Musk. The hostess, a young blonde woman with her hair styled into a perfect bun, barely spared him a glance. His faded jeans and worn black sweater didn't exactly scream regular clientele for such an establishment. "Table for one?" she asked, flipping through the reservation book without much interest. "Yes, preferably somewhere away from the windows," Musk replied, silently grateful that she hadn't recognized him. Meanwhile, in the kitchen, Miguel Ramirez, a 35-year-old waiter, was polishing a wine glass while listening to the usual complaints from his coworkers. Having spent half his life working in restaurants, the last 5 years at Lottie Jardin had been especially tough. "Did you see the guy who just walked in?" Sarah, one of the waitresses, asked as she grabbed an order. "Looks like he got lost on the way to McDonald's." Miguel glanced toward the dining area through the kitchen door. "Table 15? That's my section."
Great.
"Another one who'll sit there for 2 hours, just to order a salad and tap water." His night had already been off to a rough start. Earlier, his mother had called. She needed another expensive treatment, but her insurance refused to cover it. Bills were piling up, and his younger sister's college tuition depended on him. "Chef Ost is in a foul mood tonight," Carlos, another waiter, warned. "Someone trashed his filet on Yelp." Miguel sighed, straightened his black apron, and reviewed his notepad. Table 15 would be his 6th customer of the night, yet it wasn't even 9 p.m. He took a deep breath, forcing a professional smile, despite feeling like the weight of the world was crushing him. An unusual customer. Meanwhile, Musk sat at his table, scanning the menu but not really reading it. His mind drifted between pressing issues. Tesla's latest crisis, yet another investigation into autopilot safety, fresh controversies surrounding X, a looming SpaceX delay. He barely noticed when a voice snapped him back to reality. "Good evening," the waiter said. "I'm Miguel, and I'll be serving you tonight. Can I bring you something to drink while you look over the menu?" Musk looked up from his phone, where he had just read another negative headline about himself. "A whiskey."
Neat.
"Whatever you have." Miguel narrowed his eyes slightly. This restaurant was famous for its extensive wine selection and high-end French cuisine, not whiskey. "We have Malin, 18-year-old, 145 a shot," Miguel responded in a tone that subtly suggested Musk should reconsider. "That's fine," Musk murmured, already turning back to his phone. As he walked away, Miguel muttered under his breath about customers who didn't even appreciate the kind of place they were dining in. At the bar, Sarah was waiting, a smirk playing on her lips. "So, your table 15 looks interesting," she teased while shaking a martini. "He could at least pretend he knows where he is," Miguel scoffed. "Did you see how he's dressed? This isn't Denny's." Musk notices the staff's attitude. Back at his table, Musk was well aware of the staff's stares and whispered comments. Amused, he found it a welcome change. After weeks of people fawning over him, trying to impress him at every turn, there was something oddly refreshing about being treated like a nobody. The restaurant continued to fill up. At the table beside him, a couple celebrating their anniversary clinked glasses, the man in a tailored suit, the woman in a dress worth more than Miguel's car. Across the room, a group of tech executives animatedly discussed their latest funding round. Miguel returned with Musk's drink, setting it down with less care than necessary. A few drops splashed onto the pristine white tablecloth. "Are you ready to order?" he asked, tapping his pen against his notepad. Musk closed the menu. "What do you recommend?" The simple question seemed to irritate Miguel further. "Everything on the menu is excellent," he replied dryly. "But maybe you'd like to start with something simple. The soup of the day, perhaps? It's more accessible." Accessible. Musk raised an eyebrow, catching the barely hidden condescension in the waiter's tone.
"Yes."
$15, Miguel added, emphasizing the price as if speaking to a child. "The lobster is market price, significantly higher today." Just then, Musk's phone lit up with another urgent message. A problem at the Berlin factory. He ignored it. The waiter's attitude was proving far more entertaining. "I'll have the foie gras," Musk said, deliberately mispronouncing it. Miguel winced. "And then the filet mignon, medium rare." Miguel couldn't help himself. "Are you sure? Foie gras is quite sophisticated. Not for everyone's palate." Nearby, the anniversary couple exchanged awkward glances. The waiter's behavior was inappropriate, but Musk only looked amused. "I'm sure," he said simply. "And a bottle of wine. What do you suggest?" Miguel glanced at Musk's faded sweater, then at the pricey wine list. "We have a basic Merlot for $50, probably more suited to your budget." Without hesitation, Musk said, "Bring me the Chateau Lafite Rothschild 2010. Miguel froze. "Sir, that bottle costs $2,500. "That'll be fine," Musk interrupted, turning back to his phone. Miguel walked away, shaking his head. Another customer pretending to be something he's not. A moment that would change everything. As the night went on, Miguel became bolder in his condescending remarks. When Musk mispronounced Bordeaux, Miguel corrected him sharply. When Musk asked for ketchup for his $1,220 steak, Miguel barely stopped himself from rolling his eyes. "You know," Miguel muttered while clearing the dessert plate, "next time, there's a lovely spot nearby. Burger King. You might feel more comfortable there." Nearby diners held their breath, waiting for Musk to explode in anger, but instead, he just smirked and pulled out his phone. The rain outside pounded harder, the occasional rumble of thunder adding drama to the moment. Miguel had no idea his life was about to change forever.
For now, though,
he was just a grumpy waiter who had unknowingly insulted one of the most powerful men in the world. And soon the bill would arrive.